All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner talking Giants, and it's mock draft time. Draft month. Happy draft month, mock draft time for the Giants. The Giants have 6 picks, so we're obviously going to go through all of those. A couple of things before we get into it. I don't do any trades for mock drafts. It's just too hard to predict. And if there is a trade, it's not going to be the one that your mock draft simulator gives you. I also do use the PFF mock draft simulator, so they're the decider of who is there and not me just making it up. And with the Giants, they only have 6 picks, right? That's not a lot with all the needs that the Giants have. So unfortunately, you're just not going to be able to fit all your needs. And I think they should be going into this draft looking to acquire talent and not, plug holes, because that's how you get lesser players at those positions of need. So we're going to start it off with round 1, pick 6. And I'm going Malik Nabers, wide receiver out of LSU. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May went top 3. Marvin Harrison Jr. went 4, and then Joe Alt went 5. Malik Nabers, you guys have watched him. 6 foot, 200 pounds. He had 1,600 yards and 15 touchdowns this past season for LSU. Second most deep catches in college football, and he challenges you at every level of the field on every single route. Like, he's my third-rated player in this draft after Marvin Harrison Jr. and then Caleb Williams. And someone that can be that deep threat and also the superstar that he is in the Yak game. I just truly think he's going to be a game changer for whatever team drafts him, for whatever quarterback is on his roster. He's going to be someone who can change games for you. And he's just a legitimately good route runner at every level, setting up leverage, using foot jabs, head fakes to separate. Can do a better job like flattening out his breaks, but that's just so minuscule in the level player he is. So obviously I would have taken all 3 of those quarterbacks over him. With Caleb Williams and Drake May, I would have done it with joy. With Jaden Daniels, there's some hesitation there, but that's a risk I'd be willing to take. But you're saying, well, you didn't take J.J. McCarthy. So I didn't take J.J. here. One, I do think the Vikings are going to trade up and take him anyways. But I just don't think he's worthy of a top 10 pick. Like, it's really that simple for me. I watch him. I've done my full eval on him, and I will put a breakdown on him on this channel before the draft starts. And I just have him as rated as like a high second round player who I'd be willing to take in the end of the first. Like, I don't think he has the arm talent to be a top 10 pick. He throws the ball hard, but he just struggles with touch to throw the ball outside the numbers deep. And he's not the elite processor that people are making him out to be. Like, I think timing routes come out late often. I think he does a really bad job of reading safety leverage. Like, if a safety crashes down, throw the deep post. He doesn't throw those types of throws. Now, those are things you can improve on, but I just don't think has the talent that I'm betting on him improving on that and then becoming an elite player. I just don't think that he's that type of player. So I went with the sure thing in Malik Nabers. I know the Giants are in an unfortunate quarterback position right now, but I'm not gonna pass up on great talent for what I view as average talent in J.J. McCarthy. So Giants get that wide receiver one that they've been looking for since they traded Odell Beckham Jr. with Malik Nabers out of LSU. All right, round 2, pick 47. Giants don't own their second round pick. They traded it away for Brian Burns. Now they have the 47th pick from the Seahawks in the Leonard Williams trade. And I am going to UConn, not for basketball, for Chrsitian Haynes, a guard, an offensive guard, not a point guard. 6'3", 317 pounds, someone who I view as a second round talent. You know, before we went down to the Senior Bowl, I was watching Peyton Wilson, the linebacker at NC State, and Chrsitian Haynes popped off the screen. So I watched him at the Senior Bowl, and I thought he had the best week down there for offensive linemen, in my opinion. And I just truly fell in love with him. And then you go back and just watch and do a full eval on him, and you're like, this guy's a tough son of a bitch, right? He's always looking to finish the play. He puts guys in the dirt. He is strong, and it shows up. He controls pass protection with his hands, locking on defenders. I think his lateral mobility isn't the best, so it needs to be making like that first contact and can give up ground when someone fires into his chest plate, but that just happens very rarely. You know, and I went and watched him in 2022 versus Michigan and Mozzie Smith, and he was great, like firing off in the run game, getting movement on his base blocks. Combos are a work of art, getting to the second level, and has like flexible hips for zone blocking. So the Giants right now, this is essentially their biggest need outside of quarterback, and that's because of positional value, and then obviously, you know, DJ, his level of play and the injuries. And right now the Giants have possibly a tackle, you know, playing guard, and whether it's Evan Neal or Jermaine Elmanor, they don't have a viable starting guard outside of John Runyon Jr. So this is a huge need, and I get to get a guy that I love in Chrsitian Haynes. So I really think this guy can be a difference maker, and he's going to come in and start day one for the Giants. Round 3, pick 70, and I am taking Texas defensive tackle T'Vondre Sweat. 6'4", 366 pounds. You guys know who he is. The guy is a monster. But I do think he's a complicated pick. He has the size, and he truly uses like every pound of it effectively. You know, he weighed in at 366 at the combine. I think there's a chance he was playing at like 380, 385. That's what he looked almost 400 pounds at the Senior Bowl. He's just an anchor in the run game, eating up double teams. Like, he's going to command double teams at the NFL level and winning whenever he got a one-on-one opportunity. And he's just truly going to be a difference maker in the run game. Now, as a pass rusher, he has really nice individual wins, right? He wins his reps as a pass rusher. He gets off the ball slow, but his hand usage is very refined. He uses multiple moves and can string them together. Not a pre-planned rush. You know, he's more reacting to what the offensive line is giving him. And then he's able to use his strength with that. The issue is that he's never going to be able to finish those moves at the next level, or even in college football. He had 2 sacks the last 2 seasons, despite having a top 5 pass rush win rate for defensive tackles in this class. Like Johnny Newton, the defensive tackle out of Illinois, they have the same exact pass rush win rate, only difference by 0.1%. He just doesn't have the athleticism to finish. You know, he had the slowest 40 for defensive tackles at the combine. He's going to win. He's going to have these nice, moves on film, but he's never going to be someone who can get to the quarterback. So you may look to take him off the field on 3rd down or try and command a double team, but he's just not going to be able to do that. The question is, how does he fit on this defense, which did make this a little bit of a harder pick, even though I have him rated as a 2nd-round player. People are going to look at him and say, nose tackle. Now, he played mostly 3-tech over the guard at Texas, right? And people said the same thing about, now Dex is a better athlete, but Dex is like, oh, he's a nose tackle, but he plays 3-tech. He played 3-tech his first 3 years in the NFL. But you see Dex be at his best at nose tackle, and you're not going to move Dexter Lawrence off that for T'Vondre Sweat. Now, I think Sweat would be a better pass rusher or lined up over the center, but he's never going to be able to finish the way Dex is. So I would leave him at the 3 technique, letting him command double teams, mess up some of those gap runs, and make it hard for guys to get to the 2nd level in zone. And, you just view him as a run defender and someone who's not going to give you much pass rush value. Round 4, pick 107. I'm kicking off day 3 with the need, but a player that I really like, and that's Texas Tech safety Dadrion Taylor-Demerson. He's rangy, right? His instincts pop off the screen, and he's a lot of fun to watch. Again, his instincts are great, and he does a good job of reading the QB's eyes and seeing route combos and setting up to pick them off. And he had really good ball production, 7 interceptions the last 2 seasons. And he has all the athleticism in the world to play the way that he does, with speed, really good, loose hips, change of direction. Now, he has to get more disciplined because he can be over-aggressive, letting guys get behind him if he's kind of just watching what's happening in front of him. And trusting his speed too much, or if they put a lot of backfield action with motion and stuff, and looking like they're going to throw a bubble screen, he'll get over aggressive on that. So he's got to be disciplined. But I tweeted about him last week, and a scout who had talked with him and worked with him told me that they truly, like, this guy's smart. He understands the game. So that gives me a lot more confidence that, okay, he's not just playing willy-nilly out there. He understands the game, and he's taking calculated risks. And obviously there'll be some things that need to be cleaned up at the next level. Man coverage is good when he's in phase, but he's got to do a better job at the tight end stem of the route, right? A lot of times he's too flat-footed. He's trying to, jam him up, and he gets behind, and he starts having to play from behind. So he's got to get a better job of IDing where that tight end's going and getting in phase better. But once he's in phase, he's good. But Giants need safety. It's not their biggest need, but it is a need. I'm getting Dadrion Taylor-Demerson, safety out of Texas Tech. All right, round 5, pick 166. Now, this pick is from the 49ers, but it's via the Panthers in the Brian Burns trade. The Giants swapped 5th-round picks. And this pick came from the 49ers in the Christian McCaffrey trade. So they dropped down from pick 141, so 25 spots. And I'm taking here a guy who I feel like big boards, are going to have to catch up with this guy, because I just don't see a way that the NFL lets this guy slip. And with pick 166, I'm going Penn State tight end Theo Johnson at 6'6", 259 pounds. Guy has cookie cutter tight end frame and the athleticism to go with it. Now, he's not the athlete that Brock Bowers is or Dalton Kincaid in last year's draft, but for his size, it's great. His relative athletic score, which, measures height, weight, and then all the combine stuff, has him as a 9.98, which is third of over 1,100 tight ends since 1987. Now, I think the relative athletic score factors size in too much. Like, it's hard to say a guy's the third most athletic tight end in the last, 27 years or 35 years when he didn't even have the highest 40, 10-yard split, vertical jumper, 3-cone drill for tight ends in this year's combine. But he is an athlete. But there's more. I'm not just drafting this cat because he's big and fast, right? Like, hey, you could still take a chance on big and fast in the 5th round at the tight end spot. The man is a legitimately good route runner with nuance to it. He sets up with tempo and foot stutter. He has crisp cuts, and he has really smooth transitions. Going through the tight ends, you watch Jatavion Sanders, great athlete, right? But it's like, man, there's just so much more I want out of you. Other guys who there's some good stuff, but they're not the athlete, a little boring, the Cade Stover types. Their teams are going to have to catch up with this. And as a blocker, I think he has great technique. He can use some more ass kicker to it, but he's solid technique. Now, there was a few mental mistakes that he made on film, and that can cost you. Now, don't talk to me about need with this. I'm getting a dude in the 5th round. I don't care about the cornerback need in the 5th round at this point. You're just drafting, Trey Hawkins again. Now, he may rise. Dane Brugler has him as 76 on his big board. Connor Rogers, 111th. Pro Football Network, 121st. And then PFF, 150th. So I don't know where he's going to end up, but I am telling you that this guy's a stud. All right, finishing it off with round 6, pick 183. The Giants don't have their 7th round pick from the Isaiah Simmons trade. And I'm going Texas Tech guard Layden Robinson, 6'3", 302 pounds. He's got awesome play strength, but he has a lot of flaws, and that's why we're here in the 6th round with him. But I'm looking to add some offensive line depth. Really needs to work on his technique and pass protection, plus just struggles to move laterally with quicker rushers. But he is a ball of muscle who can knock guys around. Like, when he has his hands locked on you, he finishes a rep in both pass protection and in the run game. Like, just has the strength to torque defenders. Now, the beginning of the rep is his strength and weakness. He gets off the ball quick, and he can finish. But if a defensive tackle gets in his chest, his pad level rises, and some false steps show up, and he's not able to sustain blocks. So, not asking him to come in and compete to play. He's a draft and let develop, and then we'll revisit in 2025 type of guy. But again, I think the Giants need to really take depth on the offensive line serious. So to recap, round 1, pick 6, I passed up on J.J. McCarthy. Don't want that here. Went Malik Nabers, my number 3 player in the draft. Then went Christian Haynes in the 2nd round, added some offensive line. He's going to come in and start right away out of UConn. Then Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle, a low-key need for the Giants right now. Raheem Nunez-Roches is their 2nd defensive tackle. He's not going to add pass rush, but the man's going to be a key, a stud in the run game. Round 4, get a safety who I think could come in and compete to start right away, and Dadrion Taylor-Demerson. And then round 5, Theo Johnson, Penn State tight end. If there's anyone that on this list says he won't be there, it would probably be him, but we'll see. You never know with these things. And then round 6, finishing off with Layden Robinson out of Texas A&M. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're kicking off draft month. We're going to have all of our positional previews. I'm going to have film breakdowns out on J.J. McCarthy, on Rome Odunze, and now on Drake May before the draft shows up. And then our draft coverage is A1 in my honest opinion. So appreciate you guys. We will see a quarterback prospect video coming out tomorrow. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, let's go Big Blue.